Hello again, YouTube. I just want to make a quick video. This one's not going to be so lighthearted. I just know that there's a lot of stuff going on in the world, so I just like to talk to people about being as prepared as you can be. A lot of people don't seem to take current events very seriously. I used to be one of those. Over time, I started realizing that skills are more important than resources. However, there are just certain little bits of equipment that you can get in order to find yourself in a more advantageous position than the average person. Now, that isn't to say that anything's guaranteed, but neither is life or death. So we have to stop acting like every day is guaranteed to us, and we have to stop acting like other people are guaranteed to save us, because at the end of the day, I can only save myself. I understand that. Doesn't matter who I love, doesn't matter who I care about. I only know that my skills are going to save me, and potentially by extension, then that could spill over. But I can't just assume that I'm going to be Rambo, or that I'm going to be James Bond, I'm going to be these war heroes that we see in the movies. It's unrealistic, it's irrational. People like to think they play Call of Duty, they play these video games, that they're going to just be okay, and everything's fine, I know how to shoot a gun, whatever the heck. You go to the gun range, you shoot at a piece of paper, 25 yards, 50 yards, 100 yards, you do that all day long, that's great. What about when hunger sets in? What about when bullets are coming back at you? What about when you've been hit? What about when somebody you love is dying and screaming next to you? It's a lot of things to think about, and we like to avoid these things because they're uncomfortable. But at the end of the day, do you want to be a marshmallow, or do you want to be an elite soldier? Obviously, those are two ends of the spectrum, but any way you can bring yourself up that spectrum is, I believe, advantageous, not only to you in a survival situation, but to your overall confidence in life. So I don't have all the equipment that I'd like to have. I work, I go about my day to day, but I've acquired some little bits of equipment that obviously to me is better than having absolutely zero. So I'll just go over some things really quick. I've gone over this AR build before, but one of the most important parts of it all, forget the scope, forget the flashlight, forget the paint job, forget all of that extra nonsense. The sling. You need some way to retain this. This is your sword. This is what you carry into battle. If this is taken from you, that is death. Even if you have a sidearm, your rifle is your primary means of survival in certain types of situations. And it could even just be hunting for food. But very likely, if you're using this, it is because somebody else is using something similar against you, and you don't want to be caught without this. And if you're constantly having to set this down, or if you drop it and it's on the ground and you have to run, it's not going to be a pretty situation. And at that point, you just have to pray. So, have my sling, have my rifle, practicing, get an adjustable sling. They're a little bit pricier. Get something that's very durable. Don't buy a cheap sling. Magpul slings are okay. They're just a budget version of this. They will work. At the end of the day, do what you can, but save your money and buy the best equipment. Remember, at the end of the day, it's your life. Your life is on the line. Don't buy the cheapest gun. Don't buy the cheapest accessories. Don't buy the cheapest equipment, especially for retention. If you have a vest, unlike me, which I plan on getting in the very near future, keep in mind when you're training. And also, by the way, yes, I do keep a loaded magazine in there. My rifle is empty, however. I keep it with the loaded mag, safety on, ready at all times, where I decide to store it, and it can be quickly deployed if needed. And all I have to do is throw the sling on, lock and load, and then it's hands-free until it needs to not be. But if I do plan on having a vest, I train that way because I do plan on having a vest. Think about, okay, I have my vest on, my rifle's not gonna sit like this. It's gonna sit more like this, right? So I wanna adjust my level of tension, length on the sling to consider that fact. If I have my vest and my mag pouches and all this out here, I don't want this thing hugged up against my body where I can't move it. Because obviously without the vest, I can tighten it all the way down and it's fine. I still have a little bit limitation, but I can move it. If I had a vest on right now, this level of length would be unacceptable. I wouldn't even be able to bring my gun up. I wouldn't be able to move anything. It'd be useless. So, things to think about. I'm not a military professional. I've talked to many people. I've watched lots of videos. I practice on my own when I can. Because any form of dry fire practice or non-stressful practice, I guess, in a non-stress environment, is better than absolutely never thinking about it at all. So that's just one thing to think about. So maybe I keep it this length all the time because I don't have a vest, but now I'm starting to think, okay, I have a vest. Okay, let me loosen it up a little bit. Imagine I did have the vest. Give myself a few inches here. Okay, cool. Now it's at that level. And it's really not that bad even when I don't have the vest. But I also have to think, okay, cool. I want to practice bringing my rifle up to the ready, right? Or I can even set it to the side. Imagine if I have to run. What I can do, quickly adjust it short, throw it to the side. I can run. It clears, yes, obviously, I can still hit it, but it clears mostly. I just have to adjust my running gait a little bit. I can do things hands-free. I can climb the ladder. I can crouch down. I can work on things. Something to consider. I can quickly still deploy from the side, just as simple as taking my support hand, grabbing it, bringing it up. That's simple. But let's say I have that vest on. Okay, it's tightened all the way down. If I've got that vest, things get stuck. Okay, cool. Loosen it up a little bit. It's loosened up. I can still throw it to the side, and I can still do all the practicing. And then I have to remember, if I have a vest, I can't drag this buttstock across my chest. There's gonna be mags, there's gonna be gaps, anything that can catch that. Milliseconds matter. If I need to bring this up and shoot it, that matters. Every millisecond matters. It's like a race. They don't care if you were 0.01 seconds, you're still second place. Now that's the difference in the gold and the silver trophy. This is the difference between he's dead and I'm dead. So, okay, cool. I have a vest on. I don't have the vest on, but I have to train like I have the vest on. All right, what can I do? Well, I've got it loosened up a little bit. I can grab it like I normally would, extend it out, leave that gap, pull it back, right? Silly. Extend it out, there's a gap, pull it in. Same thing if it's here, out, in. It's very simple. Doesn't take a lot of time to think. You just have to remember. These are real life scenarios. These are things to think about. Now, this isn't going to be extensive. Just little things to think about. You can look into it more. Maybe I'll eventually post more videos. There's plenty of videos. Mike Glover, Frogman Tactical, Garand Thumb, Honest Outlaw, just a few people to also look into. I learned a lot from these channels, and I believe a lot of this knowledge that I've acquired is going to help me to be in a better place to protect myself and others in case of anything. And with the state of the world, it could be anything, right? So, okay, cool. Just some little things to think about with your rifle setup. Sling, more important than anything else. Forget all the fancy gadgets. Forget the lasers, forget the flashlights, unless you can afford it. If you can afford all that, learn how to get night vision, your infrared lasers, learn how to use that. I don't have that right now. And so my most important thing is I have a sling, a durable, reliable sling, and I have a flashlight. If I had nothing else but iron sights, flashlight, and a sling, I would be okay. Because I'd rather have that than nothing. I'd rather have that than, oh look, I've got a red dot. Oh look, I've got a scope. Oh look, I've got this infrared laser. I've got a D-ball. Oh my God. Oh, I got this vertical grip. I got this and that, blah, blah, blah. And I don't have a sling, or I have a crappy sling. It's gonna break on me. No iron sights for backup. Equipment can break. It's not impossible. This is irrational to believe that your electronic equipment can never fail. So think about that. Even the flashlight can fail. I have backup batteries with me. At the end of the day, the flashlight can still break. It doesn't matter. Having it there is better than not having it there, because eventually if it does break, well, you still had a flashlight up until the point that it broke instead of just never having a flashlight in the first place. Just things to think about on your primary fighting rifle. Now, your primary sidearm, and just to show, this thing is always ready. That's empty, for sure. I have a flashlight on here too. This flashlight might be a little too bright, but that's okay. Because all I know is if I'm in a situation where I need to use it in close quarters, I'm not going to immediately, if it's dark, it's in close quarters, I'm not going to immediately point the light where I'm aiming, because I'm going to blind myself. If it goes from pitch black to this, you're going to blind yourself even if you're looking at it. The flashlight's not pointed at you, but it's going to reflect off of everything. You can consider, okay, cool, I've got my flashlight, right? It's dark. Potential threat. You start down here. The light's there. Your eyes can adjust. Of course, you're not going to be standing still, but you don't want to just immediately into the dark with a flashlight, especially this bright, because you will blind yourself. Yes, you may blind the other person, but if there are multiple assailants and one of them is not right there, you two are blinded. That guy over there sees you, you're dead. It doesn't matter. Yes, pointing it down here, okay, cool, everyone sees you, you point it up, but like I said, it's situational dependent. You have to take your situation and you have to critically think. Don't let yourself be in the situation and then it happens and then you have to figure it out right then. That's death. That's the guaranteed death. Doesn't matter. You killed that guy, he killed you. You killed that guy, he killed you. Or you forgot all this. There's the one guy, you fucking pointed it, you went like this, he just he has a rifle. He doesn't care. He's just blind and he's pointing, boom, 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 you're dead. There's so many things that can happen. You're not dead. Your family member or your teammate, squad mate, whatever you want to call it, if you're in a little militia, is dead right behind. Anything that causes lead and copper to be flying in this direction before you can stop the threat is a higher chance of death for you or people you care about. So think about it, situation dependent. I can do this here, I can do this here. This has a strobe function. I'm not probably ever going to use that strobe function, but it is possible. I don't know when that would be useful. Cool, it has it. I don't think I'm going to use it. I think that would be more of a detriment than anything. Maybe somebody knows a situation where that would be good. But just think about that. you need some form of retaining a secondary and a primary. You have to consider, in certain situations, retaining your primary and then using your secondary. If it's close quarters, it depends. It's always going to depend. Assuming you're in a home invasion situation, it's very likely you're going to be using this over this. If the scenario is a lot more dire and this extends beyond the home, well, this is your last line of defense. This and your armor is going to be your first line of defense, as well as your skill set. So just remember that. You want to practice? Doesn't matter. Find a stationary thing. Dot on the wall. Even put little pieces of masking tape. Make little targets. Look around. Oh, what's that? Okay. You want to practice getting the same cheek weld and understanding when your body's turned how things change. Because you have your natural point of aim, but you can also adjust things. But your natural point of aim is going to be the quickest because it's going to put you as close to in line with that target as possible, whatever you're aiming at. You also got to practice the fact that you can go here, empty, sidearm, empty, new magazine. Threat is over. New magazine. Drop the bolt. You have to, I'm not perfect. Even that was slow. That was slow for me. The sad part about it is I didn't even think. I've literally winged this entire video. I had no pre-planning to this video at all. I've done this enough to where at the very least, I remember where my equipment is. I remember, I don't have to look at it. I know where the strap is, I can adjust it. I know that if I reach here, like, all I know is that there's a certain, I raise my elbow, I drop my hand, and I'm here on my handgun. I drop it in the holster, I grab my rifle. It's here, okay? Uh-oh, rifle went empty, I have time to reload it. I know where my other mag is, and I can grab it. Now, it's not the fastest, I could be faster, but most people in a non-stressful situation like this couldn't either. They sit here and they struggle, and you wouldn't even be able to do it. I used to. Now I can just grab the shit. I can just grab this shit, right? I've got my other mag. I know my mag pouch is here. Stick it in my mag pouch. Okay, cool. It's in my mag pouch, right? Boom. Grab it. Boom, boom. It went empty. Gotta grab a new one. It's just that simple. It just takes repetition. Get your muscle memory. Get your muscle memory, because when the time comes, not if, you will want to have that burned into your neural connections, because milliseconds count in that situation. And I just really, really want people to understand that you can't hide from reality. These things are important. I have very minimal equipment. I bought this Core Essential Battle Belt. I don't like these mag pouches, by the way. These are the high-speed gear taco double pouches. It has the rifle mag with the pistol mag stacked on top. And then I've got another one that's the same thing, rifle mag, pistol mag stacked on top. This is great for the range. I'm gonna change this out. It's cool, but I'd rather have a single stack of everything, because if I have to fall on my side, this is very uncomfortable. When I throw my rifle to the side, it can't, like right now it can sit because there's no mags in there, so it flattens out. But when the mags are in there, my rifle is like this. and that's just not, it's just not cool, and it moves around because it doesn't have the like soft fabric to rest against. If I have all the mags in here and I was doing this, my rifle would do this. It just goes like that all over the place. That's not good, at least for me. So things to consider: your primary and its support equipment, your secondary and its support equipment. If you use a red dot, you use a red dot. I implore you to practice with iron sights. If you absolutely have to have a red dot, make sure that you train with that red dot and that you know exactly how to handle the situation if that equipment fails. That's all I really have to say today. I've got a bunch of mags all over the place, but guess what? I've dropped these mags so many times. And, well, this is about the worst thing that I've seen happen. And even that's not that dire. And that's only because it's a full mag. If I was dropping this for a tack reload, there'd be less spring tension. This probably wouldn't have even happened. But guess what? Oh, okay, it's fixed. my pistol mags. Oh, wow. Okay, this round slid forward a little bit. Boom, it's done. It's fixed. Oh, last thing before I end the video. So I have my mags set always bullets forward. That's my personal preference. Figure yours out and train with it. Train how you're going to use your equipment. Train what is the fastest for you. Because in the end, that's all that really matters, is what is the fastest for you. So, I've got my equipment here. It's harder to put the mags back in. There we go. But at the end of the day, I have everything pointing forward. Forward. I grab with this particular one, if you decide to go with this, because it's elastic, I can do this. So what I do is, I go thumb first, I get behind the mag, and then my forefinger is down, and then I just, right? With my rifle mags, rounds are forward, just like my pistol mags. However, with my pistol mag, I'm coming like this, palm facing the body. With the rifle mag, my palm faces away from the body, and I grab it, beer can grip. Come out. And you want to make sure when you're going in, you slam that bitch home. Sorry, but at the end of the day, it needs to go in there, it needs to lock, and you need to drop that bolt, and you need to be able to aim. You need to be able to stick this in, drop the bolt, aim, fire. So, just some considerations. Like I said, I'm no expert, but I believe there's a lot of valuable information that even I can offer just in my time of research and in non-combative simulation training. So, again, thank you guys for watching. Hope this video wasn't too long. If it was, oh well. It simply is what it is. Have a good one.